The answer
Certified
is
stud.
obvious. It's Jerry Jones and it's Dallas. I mean, it's not overly complicated.
But why does it have to be that way?
Well, it shouldn't be, but I don't have an answer for you. It's I guess because that's the way Jones operates.
Yeah.
You know, he's an old man now that is stubborn, and he's claiming. Do you have some news for us?
From Adam Schefter, ESPN sources, Cowboys are trading 3-time All-Pro Micah Parsons
Get out of here, dude.
to the Green Bay Packers.
Come on.
Is that real or is that fake?
Wow.
That's a real tweet.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
That is Schefter's actual account.
Parsons
Hold
and the
on.
Packers have
Hold on,
already
let me
reached
get a
agreement.
picture of Hayes here.
Let's go.
4-year, 188
Wow.
mil. What a day, baby.
He's a big Packer fan, too, man.
Wow.
Wow, I
Wow.
cannot believe this.
Oh, man.
That's my first pick right there. First pick of the MVP.
Wow.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, the phone's rolling.
Oh, my God. All right, so let's read this out. Read that out again for me, because I honestly
There we
was
go.
worried. I'm sitting here thinking you're getting duped. Like, I'm thinking
no.
this is a Schefter parody account, because this has happened. So an hour ago, there was a report they're willing to listen, and now this has happened. Micah Parsons is a Green Bay Packer. Okay,
What a
what
good
is the
day.
deal? Do we have details on this?
Parsons and the Packers. This is from Adam Schefter on Twitter. Parsons and the Packers have reached agreement on a 4-year, $188 million contract. The agents are thanked. $120 million fully guaranteed. If we could get some champagne in the studio,
Wow.
baby.
All records
Wow.
for non-quarterbacks. So that means he's getting more than Myles Garrett, more than
Wow.
TJ Watt. Now, he's going into his 5th year, so I think it's reasonable to pay that amount of money. Now, we'll find out the details. It's got to be, I would think, multiple first-round picks, which this is somewhat uncomfortable for the Packers because of the way that they generally operate, right? Publicly owned team, they're generally very conservative. They build through the draft. They just had the draft in Green Bay in the spring, where they actually did something they never do. They took Matthew Golden, the wide receiver, in the first round, something they never do. But this got Reggie White flashbacks to it, man. That's
It
what
does.
this is. This is Reggie
Exactly.
White flashbacks back in the 90s. Now, at that time, they had Favre. Jordan Love is not Brett Favre. That time, they had Mike Holmgren. I don't know if Matt LaFleur is Mike Holmgren. But Reggie came in and changed the whole complexion of that team. They went to 2 Super Bowls. They won 1. I could not be more jacked up.
This is such a
Micah
Packers
Parsons
move.
to the Packers.
The Packers do not do this often, but when they do it, my God, they do it. And it wasn't the same headlines at that time, but you go back to Charles Woodson. There was some reclamation involved in there, but he changed that entire defense.
Wow.
They tried a big swing with Julius Peppers years back.
You're right.
But this is one of the small handful of players in the National Football League, not a quarterback, who can win you a game. There's not many of those. This isn't the NBA where one guy can hold onto the ball and decide a game. He can win you a football game.
Well, the Packers have been the youngest team
Wow.
in the NFL, and we'll get to the Cowboys side of this in a moment, because that's even more compelling. Like, admittedly, there's some bias here. Keegan and I are super fans for the Packers.
I actually signed off on this on the break.
Yes, good.
Ownership sign off. That's what I was doing.
Okay, good.
Are
I'm
you a
glad you had to
partial
vote
owner?
on that.
Yeah.
Yes, I am. It's
Stockholder.
very real, and it matters
And Joe
a lot.
Bowen, the Bowen
The
family.
Bowens.
There we
That's
go.
what's
There you go.
going on.
Matheson Estates and Bowen Estates. They had to
Oh, boy.
personally vote on this. So you got a scenario here for the Packers. They've been the youngest team in the league the last 2 years. I believe they're still technically the youngest or real close to it. Parsons is young, though. That's the whole point. Do they keep Rashawn Gary? We'll see. If Gary might be going the other way to make the money work, because it's so much money, and it's going to clearly have a ripple effect on what they're doing with the rest of their salary cap. If you can keep Gary for a year, I don't know if you can keep both of them long term, but that is a really potent pass rush and front line, front seven. All of a sudden, their corners are young. Alexander's moved on. He's in Baltimore. I'm just kind of running through their defense. But what this does, if you're in Green Bay, this puts pressure on Jordan Love now. They paid you. Now they got you a stud on the defensive side of the ball. Pass rush has been an issue for them for a while. You gotta perform now.
Yeah.
Like, you got to stay healthy. You got to perform. This is a shot to the Lions, who thought we're the big boys now in the NFC
100%.
North.
Same with the Vikings.
Yes.
Right? Like,
Chicago's trying to build up.
They're
Chicago's trying to
sure.
build up. They got Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams going into his second year. This is the Packers who have owned this division for 30 years, saying we're not giving up anything. Now, conversely, for the Cowboys, I'm shocked that Jones would do this because of where he is, in terms of he's 82 years old.
In the world.
Yes, exactly. Presumably you're bringing back picks and you're resetting your team now. You have a rookie head coach. You got Dak coming back from injury, who you've paid. You've paid CeeDee Lamb. Is this like a Herschel Walker scenario where, remember when he bought the team, they got Walker, they traded him for all those pieces, and then next thing you know, a couple years later, they're in Super Bowl contention. Is that his plan? Or is this just purely stubborn? Is it purely stubborn where
Ego.
he's
Just a, like
ego,
100% ego?
we
driven?
agreed to a deal, you reneged, you're out of here. You're not going to be a
The
Cowboy
old man doesn't
anymore.
want to lose.
You're right, though, about Jerry Jones and his age. Like, why wouldn't you just say, I got good players, I got studs, I'm going to add as much as I possibly can and try and win a Super Bowl? Like, what are you going to... You're going to bring back a ton of picks. And by the way, the return... For you to make that trade within the NFC, don't you think that return is going to have to be massive? Or why wouldn't you might try and make a trade with someone in the AFC?
Well, I
Like,
guess
why wouldn't you try and get it out of conference?
it's a very good question. I mean, the Packers, there have been rumors coming out of Green Bay for the last 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
Like, and it started with like feeling like it was a troll job. And then I think John Kuhn, maybe, who was a former fullback for the team, who might be still working for
Great
the
fullback.
Packers. Great, old school, put your head
If you
down
needed
and run.
2.7 yards, baby, he could
Yes.
get it.
This
no
has
one
become
could give
a
it to you
Packers
like him.
podcast.
Yes,
now.
it has.
It has.
I've been waiting for the moment.
But like I was going into this very reserved because I didn't think Dallas would give him up. And then when you consider the conservative nature of the Packers and their front office, this is a lot. You're paying them more money than anyone else has ever been paid that's not a quarterback. And again, we don't know the details on what's going back to Dallas. But, you raise a valid point, an interesting point about where is the ideal landing place. It may not matter if this is Dallas saying we're not winning for 2 or 3 years. Like, clearly, if you're moving off a 26-year-old all-pro superstar stud, how can you sit here and think you're winning anything this year?
And these picks really matter. Like, we've got a report here from Matt Schneidman, who does a great job covering the Packers for The Athletic. Source, the Packers are trading at least 2 first-rounders to the Cowboys, as you would expect.
Yes.
My first thought about this is that if you're the Cowboys, you are probably getting back a couple of picks from Green Bay that will be 20th, 24th, 27th.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to get you a superstar.
Right.
You are not trading him to the Jags or to the Browns or to the Colts and getting back a number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pick. You're going to be hoping. You're going to be going after quantity here. You might get some players. You might strike gold, but you're not getting that immediate star.
Dude,
this is stunning.
This is a fumble of all fumbles by the Dallas Cowboys. I don't care. You spent all the money on Zeke and Dak and CeeDee Lamb, and now you're not going to spend the money on Micah Parsons, who's an absolute stud. No one's going to argue that. You trade him within the conference. Like the picks, like you're talking about, they're not going to help you in the immediate future. It makes no sense. It's absolutely laughable that this is where the Dallas Cowboys have gone with this thing.
Yeah.
You never should have gotten to this point.
Well, this is the Jerry Jones legacy now, right?
And if I may read these 6 beautiful words from Micah Parsons. Thank you, Dallas. 5 dots. Go, Pack, go.
Go, Pack, go.
A cheese emoji.
Go, Pack, go.
Roll out the barrel,
Yeah.
says Micah Parsons.
Wow, it's amazing that it's Dallas. And again, a week tonight, the NFL starts in Philly. And I want to see where the line goes. Track that on FanDuel because I'll bet you it's shooting through the roof now.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be Eagles by 8.5, 9.5, maybe a double-digit spread because I think they're holding on to that line to see, what was going to happen with Parsons. And the Packers, did they play Detroit or Chicago week 1? It's one of those 2 teams. And it's like a 4:25 game, and I want to say it's at Lambeau. So there it is. Highest paid non-quarterbacks in NFL history. Parsons, $47 million. T.J. Watt, $40. Jamar Chase, $40.25. Myles Garrett, $40. So Watt and Garrett are the comparables, and they just got signed in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
And he is blown past
That's
them.
not by a little bit because the NFL is the official league of highest paid left guard, highest paid center.
Yes.
And it creeps up by $500K a year every year.
Wow.
That is a feather in the cap of an agent to say highest paid blank.
Right.
This blows it out of the water.
Yes,
this
it
is
does.
not just sneaking past to make everyone happy with some fancy numbers. This is blowing it away.
But
Which surprises me a little bit because like Watt and Garrett are so good and they're in their prime and they were reaching free agency. But Parsons is, I think, as good or close to it, and he's younger.
Yeah, but
So I thought he'd get a little bit less than them, but
even if Parsons, if you went to him, if you're Jerry Jones and you said we're going to give you $42 million a year or 41 and tie T.J. Watt, he's probably taken that to stay with Dallas. Like he released a statement just now. It was all ready to go. And it's like I never wanted to be anything but a Dallas Cowboy. Loved the team growing up, and it's like you kind of just had to meet him at something that was like market value, and Green Bay's willing to go way above it.
I mean, this would suggest that's probably what he was looking for the whole time was you have to make me the highest paid player, highest paid
Maybe.
non-quarterback ever.
Yeah.
Like that was probably the line, and Jerry Jones obviously felt uncomfortable with that. It's just such a weird line to draw in the sand. I get that everything's a negotiation. Every single dollar counts. I understand that. But with Dak, eventually just gave him more than anybody else. And that's Dak.
That's Dak Prescott.
He's not in the same category at his position of Micah Parsons as a pass rusher.
Jerry Jones waits and waits and waits, and he gets terrible value. For a businessman, not very business.
No, not very businesslike.
Wow.
So, yeah, Micah Parsons, a Green Bay Packer.
You talked about that week 1 for the Packers. It's versus the Lions at Lambeau. And I have a feeling that's going to be a little bit of a statement game for the Packers about, like everyone's been talking about the Lions the last couple of years, and rightfully so. They've been a very exciting team offensively. They've got some pieces that really kind of move the needle. But in that division, to have a, primetime, call it 425 game where you just kind of lay it to them at Lambeau, with Parsons there,
who's
that's
calling
a bit
that
of
game?
a statement.
That would be Tom Brady, I believe, that'll be calling that game. That's usually the Fox window, 425. TB12, and he'll be right in there calling that game, I would presume anyway. If not, then it would be if it's a CBS.
CBS.
Okay, so then that's
Romo
and Nance. It's a CBS
It's
game.
going to be Romo.
Okay.
Which I think is actually better.
That it's a Cowboy.
I think
Cowboy quarterback.
And
that is
Romo
great. You're right.
specifically.
He's going to have the magic pen out all over that screen. Baby.
I think, he'll add a lot. I actually, if it was Aikman, it would be great. But, it's going to be crazy, man. That's wild.
Yeah, Bill Barnwell tweeting out how the Packers GM works over the last 30 years. Get that next quarterback a little earlier than your current quarterback would want. That's kind of what happened. Like, I guess with Favre, too, when he arrived, there was a veteran on, and it was like, what's going on here? And then obviously Rodgers, and then into Love. And then when a defensive Hall of Famer is underappreciated by his old team, hits the market, you go get him. They did that with Reggie White. Charles Woodson's a great example. Like, Woodson won a Super Bowl in 11 with them.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a huge part of that defense, and he was available, and they said, fine, we'll take you. And now Parsons is the next guy.